intersecting with each other. Does any of this sound familiar at all? Like you do remember that you were in class at one time and we went over this stuff? Okay. You don't remember being in that class? Okay.
You put a whole lot of stuff on your face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
No, I didn't do that. That was my
All right.
option.
So then we did these two together in class.
Wait, is that somebody at the
We did these two together in class. We did this one. And for this one, first we had to multiply it out because it has to be in standard form for us to do what we like to do with these. It needs to be in standard form. So we made it in standard form. We set them equal to each other, moved everything over. And then I don't know if you did, but I factored out a 3 to make the number smaller, easier to work with. Factored. Got that x was -3 and -1. Substituted back in. That's what we got. And then over here, it didn't factor. And when it doesn't factor, then you have to use quadratic formula. And so we use quadratic formula over here and got these two, this answer and this answer. These two answers right here. Maybe yours are neater than mine. Mine's not very neat. Okay, so we're going to see if we remember what to do. You do remember?
I remember.
All right. Maybe.
Carmen taught me how to do this because I wasn't here that day.
What a
But I
good
think he
friend.
did- I think he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, good. All right, well, what do we do first? Right here with this one in this bottom left corner. Set them equal to each other, okay? So, x squared plus 10x plus 28 equals -2x squared minus 20. Okay, I did that. Am I finished?
Nope.
What? That took so much effort. So what do I need to do now?
Get everything on one side.
Okay. Now, from yesterday, a lot of people were trying to do this in their head, and you were getting your arithmetic wrong. So I don't know. You might not want to try that. You might want to actually take the time to write it out. Yeah, this takes too long to do. Mm-hmm.
No.
You always got first time.
All right. Well, yeah. So can you get to there? All right. What would probably be a good idea at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, factor out that 3 so you've got smaller numbers to work with. Okay, so I'm going to let you carry on from there.
If I want to do bottom up, can I just leave it?
Mhm.
So close. Friday's the worst day.
So close.
Why are you trying to reach that?
Oh, I was imitating how I feel about the weekend. Like it's,
Oh, it is so close. Yeah.
Well, they work.
Yeah, I actually got to read a book of my own choosing last weekend. I was really happy. It's the first time since I went back to school. That's the first time that like I got to read a book that wasn't assigned to me, and it was fantastic. It was wonderful. Yeah, I sat down Friday night, finished it Saturday morning. It was wonderful.
I don't read it.
Really? Okay, so I get x plus 5, x plus 5. Is that what everybody got? Okay, so x plus 5 equals 0, so that means x has to be -5. So then what do I do with this information?
Plug it back in.
Plug it back in. F of x or g of x?
FX.
Okay. It doesn't matter It's just whichever one that you like the best. Okay. It doesn't matter if you put it in f of x or g of x. If you do it right, you get the same answer no matter what. Okay. But it's easier to get it right if you pick a more friendly problem. So my answer is negative 5, 3. So how many times do these two parabolas touch? Once. And where do they touch? Negative 5, 3. Okay. All right. Start out on this one right here in the lower right-hand corner. Is that what you got when you combined them? Okay, and then what did you do? So I have 2x squared equals negative 20. And then what does x squared equal? Negative 10. So when I take the square root, what happens? It's imaginary. It's plus or minus I times the square root of 10. So what does that mean for my problem here? No solution. These do not touch. This is a no solution.
No solve.
Okay. All right, let's look at a couple of problems from yesterday. This section, by the way, is split into two parts. It's like the actual math part and then the application parts. And we're going to get the math part done and like mastered, and then we'll do the application parts, okay? Application part, it's like word problems, using it. Yeah. Okay, so this is from yesterday, and it's, which one? Okay, for some reason, everyone had an absolute fit with number 5. I don't,
All you gotta do is
yeah, like this
move
one.
the X and put Y equals.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh. Well, that's what we did. I did.
Let's sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Okay, before you can set these two equal to each other, they both have to equal y. So you have to move the x over, and then you have y equals negative x minus 2. Now you can set them equal to each other. You couldn't do that before. You can't just like, there's an equal sign. Let me put what's over here and what's over here. So you've got x squared plus 3x minus 7 equals negative x minus 2. And I'm going to add x, I'm going to add 2, add x, I'm going to add 2. End up with that as my quadratic. Factor it. So x plus 5 equals 0. X, how about a minus sign in there? Equals 0. So x is negative 5 or x is 1. And then, like, do yourself a favor. If you can put this in any problem you want, put it in that one. Because then something else that was happening. Okay, let me just show you this one more time.
What do you mean? Put it in that one? Oh, in the factor thing?
Put it in this, the y equals, because
Oh.
y is already isolated and it's a nice friendly problem. Okay, so watch real quick. Let's watch this one more time. when you don't have parentheses, you get the wrong answer. If you have a negative and you want to square it, it has to go in parentheses or you're going to get the wrong answer. Bless you. That is because
Negative.
order of operations says this is 5 squared times -1. That's what that is. Order of operations, exponents come before multiplication. So this is 5 squared times -1. That is -5 times -5, which is actually what you are trying to do. That's what you're trying to do, is -5 times -5. So make sure when you put in your calculator, that is going in your calculator. You have to use parentheses. All right, so then I put this in. You see it? So if y equals a -x minus 2, so I'd say y equals a -5 minus 2. That's just 5 minus 2, which is 3. So I have a point at -5, 3. And then if y equals a -x minus 2, that's going to be a -1 minus 2. So that's -3. So my other point is 1, -3. So that's where these two meet. This line and this quadratic. That was probably the most, out of all the classes, that was the most messed up problem of the day. Not just out of this class, but out of all of them. Do you have one specifically that you would like to see?
Number 6.
I don't remember how to
Six.
square.
Yes.
6 is exactly like the one that we just did. Well, not exactly, but close. You don't remember how to complete this square?
Put in our calculator yesterday.
This?
Yeah. We put in the y equals stuff, and once we got the graph, like we could see the graph, but we couldn't figure out how to get the intercept.
All right, so if x minus y equals 1, then -y equals -x plus 1, so y equals x minus 1. So I'm going to put that in y2. I'm going to put in y1 -x squared minus 2x plus 3.
Mhm.
Oh, whoops, that's not right. X minus 1. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's too much. Okay. There we go. That's beautiful right there. Okay.
Yeah, we got that.
So if you want to know where they intersect, you go to second calculate
Intercept.
where they intersect. So there's the first curve, there's the second
How
curve,
do you know the first?
because it's highlighted, it's blinking. You see that it's blinking,
I do see Mr. Blinky.
and it blinks on the first curve, and then it jumps down and blinks on the second curve, and then it asks you, do you want me to guess? Well, heck
So you
yeah,
don't know the first curve already. It does know.
it knows.
You just hit
Yeah.
intersect.
So one of the intersections is at 1, 0. And then you do it again, but you have to get over, if you don't get over closer to that other intersection, it's going to give you that one again. So I'm still on the first curve. It's there. There's my second curve. Yes, please guess. -4, -5. Those are my two answers right there. Okay. Easy enough.
Yes.
All right. And then you had to do it algebraically. Do we need to do it algebraically? It's pretty easy. You just set them equal to each other. I mean, we can. Do we need to?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do on day 51 homework, we're only doing these 4 on page 423. Because I want us to have all of the math conquered before we start doing the application stuff, okay? So day 51, just page 423, you have 21 minutes left in class.
We're done after that?
You could be done with no homework.
Oh, this
Yes.
like being brief.
Yes. So get on it, okay?
Own it.
Get down.
Well, no, not exactly like that.